Hey, what's going on YouTube? Welcome to Post Cologne. Today we're taking a look at 3 cologne fragrances from the Dumont Borouj series. So let's jump into it. All right, we are back with another unboxing first impressions video of 3 cologne fragrances from the Dumont Borouj series. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Folks over at Perfume Box sent these over to me. I'm gonna have links down in the description if you decide you want to check these out. Also have a coupon code. Save yourself 5% off your purchase at Perfume Box using post5 in the coupon code area. So pretty excited about this. I haven't tried anything from the Dumont Borouj line before and I've heard some good things. So let's quit screwing around and let's get into it. All right, kicking things off from the house of Dumont Borouj, we have Perlador. Now you can scoop this up for $55 and this apparently is a clone, maybe a clone twist of Parfums de Marly's Carlisle, so I don't know, let's see about it. All right, there we have the box presentation for Borouj Perlador. Really nice box. It's got a bit of a thick cardboard slide on it. Well, not thick, but thicker cardboard slide with some kind of nice shimmery gold, name of the fragrance, and a nice kind of emblem up top, and it does slide off like so. Revealing our fragrance box that has a nice thick cardboard to it, and it does, I think, open up like so. There's a frickin' sticker on it. Bear with me. Very gentle. All right, there we go. Opening up like so. So nice box presentation. I do like that. Sitting in this nice kind of fuzzy foam podium. Decent. Bottle on this is quite nice as well. It's a little smaller than I thought it would be. I think this is 100 ml. No, it is an 85 ml. So nice bottle presentation on this. Definitely has that kind of Middle Eastern vibe going on to it, if you ask me. It has some kind of nice tapered edges to it. Overall, pretty decent looking bottle cap on this. Nice thick heavy metal. We do like ourselves a nice cap. And the atomizer on this sucker. Ooh. Oh, there we go. Ooh, pressurized atomizer for the win. Definitely get the job done, but what does this smell like? So right off the rip, just smelling this in the air, first thing you get hit with is this oud note that comes through. There is a touch of some sweetness in the air. I'm not sure if that's coming from the oud or maybe a little bit from some violet or the sage that's in this, but you definitely get hit with that oud. It does have a bit of a woody profile going on to it. Little hint of some smokiness, but through and through, like the first thing you're getting is this kind of funky oud. It's okay, not great. Let's get this on paper. Dive in. So right off the jump, just smell this off the test strip. A little bit different than it was in the air. You're picking up a lot more of the basil note that's on this off the test strip than you were in the air. That oud is still there. It's still pretty much the star of the show, but you're getting a little bit more of that spice that's coming through. There is a hint more of some of that incense, maybe some leather coming in from the base. I'm not a huge fan of this opening at the moment. It's a little synthetic-y. It's a little, the oud's a little funky on this, but let's give this a second. Yeah, as this is opening up a little bit more, the oud is taking on more of a woody profile and it's kind of toning down that funk that was in the original opening. So it's, again, more of a woody profile starting to come through. Little kiss of some leather. There is some incense that's there. It doesn't have that same, that sweet touch that was in the air as it does off the test strip right now. It's really about that kind of, that woody oud, a little kiss of that incense. It's still okay. I'm not sold on this one yet. All right, after a minute or two here, this is starting to smooth out a little bit more. That opening was really not my favorite, to be quite honest, but it's starting to smooth out. The woods are starting to become a little bit more rich. You are getting that incense that's kind of like wrapping around it ever so slightly. There are those spices there. They're not dominating. It's more, like I said, kind of that woody oud that's coming through. Does have that Carlisle sort of DNA going on to it for sure, but not quite there for me. But let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right. Back with the dry down of Dumont Borouj Perlador. Been an hour, let this settle down, do its own thing. This improved in the dry down, I have to say. Like, it did definitely turned a corner. I really wasn't caring for that opening. The oud was too funky. Things weren't working together all that well, but now that this is dried down, nice and smooth sort of base going on to this. Has almost a creamy texture, a little touch of some sweetness there. And that woody oud is really settled down into quite a nice woody oud. Little kiss of some leather that's there, a little kind of wisps of some incense. It's not like a smoky style of fragrance. It was a little smokier in that midpoint when it was playing with that kind of crazy oud that was going on. so it's there, but it's not like a smoky style of fragrance. It's really got that kind of that woody oud sort of base going on to it with that kiss of sweetness. What it really reminded me of when I picked it up, even though this is a Carlisle Twist clone, it really reminded me of some aspects of Mancera's Red Tobacco when I picked it up on the dry down here. It has that same sort of woody base with that little touch of that sweetness that goes on in the Mancera, and I do quite enjoy that fragrance. So maybe that's what kind of sold it for me, because it does have that similarity. I'm not saying it's the same fragrance, but you'll definitely be reminded of it if you're familiar with that fragrance. So overall, this turned a corner, turned into a very nice fragrance, and it is strong. This is definitely the first thing I smelled when I walked back into the room. This is pushing off the paper, and I think this is potential beast mode style of fragrance, but we'll have to get it on skin, wait and see. And I think for $55, I think we're gonna have to go pending performance. We'll see how this does off my skin. Like I said, I wasn't sold on that opening or that mid. It was a little rough around the edges for that, but the dry down kind of redeemed it at that point. So I'll have to get back to you guys and let you know if this is something that I would recommend or wouldn't recommend. So that's all I gotta say about that. That's Dumont Borouj Perlador. All right, next up from the house of Dumont Borouj, we are going with Mysterious. Now you can pick this up for $51 and don't know much about this one actually, so let's dive in, find out. All right, there we have the box presentation for Dumont Borouj Mysterious. Same idea as the last one, just in a white box. Gotta get this frickin' sticker, bear with me. And it opens up like so, revealing our fragrance bottle, same idea. The fragrance bottle on this is kind of unique. It's got like a bit of a, I don't know, kind of like a polished metallic sort of vibe going on to it, if the camera can pick that up. So unique, I kind of enjoy that. Cap on this, same as the other one. And do we have another pressurized atomizer? Yes, we do. Pressurized atomizer will definitely get the job done. But what does this smell like? So right off the rip, just smelling this in the air, this is a unique fragrance. This has got kind of a couple things going on to it. It has this fruitiness to it, this pineapple, melony kind of combination going on. But there's this almost kind of like, it's very reminiscent of the Baccarat Rouge 540, kind of like that scratchy sweetness. That's always how I kind of think of Baccarat Rouge. It has this like kind of like really textured kind of sweet that's going on to it, but it's mixing with some more tropical kind of fruity notes going on to it. Interesting. Let's get this on paper. Yeah, so right off the rip, just smelling this off paper, a little bit different than it was in the air. You're really getting those fruity accords that are coming through. It has this nice kind of watery melon that's in there, some pineapple, little hints of some citrus. Yeah, the pineapple is coming forward the most here, but it does have this like really light kind of, like I said, watery style of melon fruit here. So it's got that kind of tropical fruity sort of vibe going on to it. Herba Pura, you know, territory for sure. But like I said, in the air, I'm still getting that kind of that almost kind of musky, gourmandy style of Baccarat Rouge 540 that's mixing in with those tropical accords. Interesting. I'm liking this. This is interesting. It's quite nice. It's a little bit synthetic-y. There's a lot going on with the sweet notes here, and I'd say the pineapple and the melon do come across like fairly high quality, but it's that kind of background sweetness that's a little bit on the scratchy side that's kind of playing with those other two notes, and so it's good, it's just not great when it comes to the quality. There's something a little bit jarring about it. Yeah, after a minute or two, this is starting to kind of settle down a little bit, and it is smoothing out. It's not as kind of like having the screechy edge to it that's going on to it, but let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Dumont Borouj Mysterious. Been about an hour, let's settle down, do its own thing. This turned way more towards the Herba Pura in the dry down here. That Baccarat Rouge 540 style of sweetness, that kind of like almost scratchy, fuzzy style of sweetness that I mentioned before, that's kind of completely dropped off. It might be tucked in a little bit behind, but this has got that kind of tropical fruit, melony, almost kind of like a green apple sweetness that's kind of tucked in behind that melon, and a little bit of that citrus sweetness. And it's got some nice musk that's come through. So it's definitely in that Herba Pura territory in the dry down. The dry down's good. Like, I am enjoying this one quite a bit. It just has a little bit of a kind of a like, almost like a plasticky sort of feel to it. And I find that with the Herba Pura clones, that's kind of where it ends up having, that sounds horrible, but It does. It just kind of has like a little bit of a thick, plasticky, almost synthetic-y sort of vibe when you get to the dry down, but it still smells nice. I just had to add that point because that's when I'm picking up on it. But overall, I do enjoy the scent profile in this. Very summery, unisex style of tropical fruity style of fragrance with some nice musk that comes through. So overall for $51, pending performance on this one. This one's not really pushing off. This didn't fill the room. Like it's not blasting off here. So we'll see how this one performs, and I'll have to get back to you guys, but smells nice, performance, TBD, I have to get back to you. That's Dumont Borouj Mysterious. All right, last, but hopefully not least, going with Dumont Borouj Seage. So you can also pick this up for $51, and this allegedly is another clone, one of the many of by Kilian's Angel Share. So let's dive in, find out, shall we? All right, there we have the box presentation for Borouj Seage. Same as the other ones, I'll try and speed this up. Same as the other one, opens up, revealing our fragrance bottle, sitting in that podium. So overall, for the Borouj series so far, I'm enjoying the box presentation and the bottle, the exact same. Nothing too fancy going on there, just kind of a solid color. Cap on this, nice thick heavy metal. And are we going 3 for 3 on the pressurized atomizer? I'm assuming so. And I am correct. 3 for 3 on the pressurized atomizers. I'm quite pleased with that. But what does this smell like? So right out the gates, just smelling this in the air, big dose of cinnamon as soon as this opens up in the air. You are getting some tonka bean that comes through. It has a really dusty, dry texture in the air. Little hints of some fruitiness that's going on, but really you're getting that cinnamon spice that's going on, and like I said, like a dusty texture that's going on. So let's get this on paper, dive in. So right off the rip, just smelling this off paper, a little bit different than it was in the air. You're picking up more of the kind of this boozy cognac note that's in here. Cinnamon is definitely still there. You get this nice kind of rich, juicy, sweet plum, but it's not the star of the show. It is sitting behind that kind of cognac cinnamon combination. And you are still picking up on a little bit of that tonka bean texture, that dustiness that's coming through with that tonka bean. But more or less, it's really kind of about that spice, that booziness with little touches of that fruity sweetness. This is quite nice, but a little bit different from some of the other Angel Share clones out there that I've experienced. As it's opening up a little bit more, that cognac booziness is starting to die down, and it's giving a little bit more stage to that plum. Some vanilla accords are coming up. The iris that's in here is adding more texture than that initial blast where maybe it was the iris, but it was just like it had that kind of dusty tonka sort of feel. But now it's kind of transitioning into more of a kind of a powdery iris, but not overly powdery, just a little bit of texture to keep it interesting. But this is different than the other Angel Share clones. It's not as vanilla heavy. It's more about the spice and that kind of boozy note with that little touch of some fruitiness. It's nice, it's different. Yeah, now that this is settled down, all the top notes and the mid notes are really like melding together quite nice. So the plum, the cognac, the cinnamon, some of that iris that's there, maybe a little hint of some resinous sweetness from the myrrh, it's really tucked in, but those first 4 notes, they're really playing together nice. So you get that nice balance of the fruity sweetness, that warm cinnamon spice that's there, the little touch of some booziness from some cognac that's there. Not that much vanilla is coming through, at least on the test strip right now. So it's, like I said, a little bit different than the other ones, but let's skip to the dry down, see how this unfolds, and we'll go from there. All right, back with the dry down of Dumont Borouj Seage. Been an hour, settle down, do its own thing. This definitely took a turn towards more of the kind of the Angel Share that I'm used to in this dry down. Like I said in the opening, it was almost fresher in the opening. It just had a more like kind of a lightness, even though that spice was there. It just was different than the other clones I'm used to. But now that we're in the dry down, that cinnamon spice is there. You're getting that a little bit of a powdery texture from that iris, but you get that nice smooth sandalwood. You get the tonka, the vanilla that's coming through, and it's balanced off with a little bit of the myrrh spice as well, adding additional sweetness to it as well. But through and through, and a little touch of that cognac is still there. I'm still getting little hints of that booziness. Might be different on the test strip versus on the skin, but you're getting an Angel Share clone. That's definitely where they took this one, and it's a really nice one. I am enjoying this one. I find the spices are balanced off nice with the sweet accords, has that warmth, that kind of coziness, that comforting sort of vibe that you get from those Angel Share style of clones, and I am digging this one. So we'll have to test out the performance, see how this one does. Again, this one, like the other one, is not blasting off the paper, but you can definitely smell it in the air still. So this might perform fairly well, but I'll have to get back to you guys and let you know. And for $51, we'll see. There's some good Angel Share clones out there for various price points, and we'll see if this one's a decent competitor for those at some point here. But overall, smells fantastic. That's Dumont Borouj Seage. All right, so there you have it. That's 3 cologne fragrances from the Dumont Borouj line. And I want to hear from you guys. What are some other fragrances from the Dumont Borouj line that I need to check out? Comment down below. I love hearing from you guys. I love getting your different recommendations, your hidden gems, different taste and scent profiles. Appreciate you. And if you enjoyed this video, make sure you hit that like button. Don't forget to subscribe. Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you all next time.